program. It's January 6, 2018, and we're here with Susan Connolly, longtime friend, painter. And Susan, welcome to the show, but you got something else going on. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I'm starting a real estate photography business.
Nobody does that. Tell me about it.
In Bell County, there's very few. And so if you're interested in getting excellent, stunning photographs of your home that you're selling,
Gotta talk to the mic.
call 254-239-4737.
So in other words, what you're saying is if somebody wants to sell their home and they want to get like a spread, like you see these real estate magazines, if they want to do it for their home and they're a FSBO, for sale by owners.
That's right. Well, no, and also realtors.
And realtors too?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a great way to promote your house. You give them some ideas on how to make it look pretty.
I do photographs, flyer, video, and if you're interested, call me and I'll send you a flyer. We're just starting out. We don't actually have a website set up yet, but I'll send you a flyer with my pricing and
what was
some,
the info to get a hold of you?
254-239-4737.
That's awesome. You're one of those people who, when you decide to do something, you just do it to its max ability. So that's cool. Now, Susan, we got you on here because we were talking at the shop last night about just doing it, getting it done, specifically when it comes to women, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of women out there who want to do it, and all it takes is like that push into the pool. Once they're in, they're going to swim like fish. But it's pushing them, getting into the pool and pushing them in, right? So we got a few topics we're going to talk about, and we'll take it one by one here, but I'll read basically what kind of things we're going to talk about. Weapon selection, empowering women, knowing how to use it, practice, women's groups, ladies' seminars, how can you get a wife involved, tools, not toys. Let's talk about these things. What got you involved? What makes you?
Well,
I'll tell you what. You're a great competitor when it comes to the Round Robin. You really are.
I'm getting there. I'm gonna win.
No, you're at winning capabilities. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people at winning capabilities. It's just what day is it? What day is it? Are you gonna make it that day? So go ahead.
So I think I started really getting serious about guns and having a CHL license, if they call it CHL now.
It's now licensed to carry.
Licensed to carry, about 10 years ago, and I just the deal about, I thought, why not? I mean, why can't I go and do this too? I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't.
But are you looking at it as just something you want to do, or did you have a concern?
Well, I was a single mom, and I lived in the house by myself and with my son, and I was a gun owner, and I wanted to know the best ways. I wanted to know the safest way and the best way to teach them, I wanted to teach my son safety, gun safety. So I actually needed to know the best way and gun safety, so that we could both, handle the guns safely and not be afraid of the actual tool itself.
Now, if you want to stereotype, usually it's the guy's job. Usually, if you want to stereotype it, okay? But when there's a single mom takes the place of both parents, mom and dad, most of the time from what you see in statistics and what you hear. And so you stepped up to the challenge to teach your son how to shoot. And there's a lot of women out there, I'm sure, who are in the same boat, getting into the same boat. And so your story here that you're telling is a good inspiration to them to probably do the same thing.
Well, and I think it was an enlightening moment when I thought, I can do this. Why can't I do this? Because they're, you're a woman, and you're going, well, it's not the normal thing to do, and what will they think of me, and all this stuff. And I, if you really want to learn about it, and I wanted to know the safe ways of doing things, and I wanted to be able to teach him the safe ways.
Mm-hmm. He's a good shot too.
He is. He's very good. Very confident child. He's not really a child. He's 21 now, but excellent. Excellent. And he's not afraid of the guns. And that's the main thing, is to try to go and practice enough to where you're not afraid and you're comfortable with your weapon, which is actually a tool.
Yes. A good segue, because what I was going to say was this. Not everybody likes to change a tire, but it's a necessity. It's a tool. You got to get the jack, all that kind of stuff to change your tire. You got to know how to do it. I don't like to change tires, but I got to learn how to do it. I know how to do it, but sometimes it's necessary to do it. It's the same thing with a gun. Baking a cake, if you want to bake a cake or buy a cake, Bake a cake, buy a cake. Burn a cake, do it again. Whatever. When it comes to a gun, it's a tool. Whether you like it or not, it's a good thing to know. And if you're going to know it well. And I can't remember what got you started coming out to me. It's been a long time now.
I started to I took your CHL class, and there was there were like 20 people in the class, and it was mainly, an enlightening fact that that I could actually carry my own weapon around and do it. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you're a woman and you've been told all your life you're a woman, and it's a stigma thing where what you got to do is you have to think, well, you can do this. There's no reason why you can't do this too.
Susan, how tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
Okay, you're not.
I'm really pretty tiny.
You're not the tallest of women.
No.
And your hands, I'm looking at your fingers.
I have very small hands.
Small hands, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, she'll pick up a large size firearm and she'll tear it up. It's because she understands the concept. She studied it, she's practiced it, and it comes to almost any gun she can handle. Of course, larger guns, you got to do some modifications to your stances and all that kind of stuff. But she's not afraid of it. She embraces it. It's great, and you will be empowered as well.
That's right. It is very empowering to not be afraid of any weapon. You just pick it up and you know how to use it, and you're not afraid to shoot it. You just do it.
What can you say about the competition that's coming up this upcoming Friday? You've done it many times, and I remember the first time you did it. The only reason you did bad, the only reason you did bad the first time is because it's the first time you did it.
Right.
After that, then you've had bad luck. The guns have been causing the problems. We've had a misfire or a malfunction, or the gun's defective, and you did whatever you could possibly do to try to get it back up and running, but just wouldn't work. And it's just the luck of the draw. But what can you say about that? What it does for you in your training aspects?
The Round Robin competition teaches you how to fire different guns. It teaches you how to fix a gun when it's malfunctioned. It also teaches you to hurry. It puts you under pressure.
That's right.
And because you have to shoot each gun in 10-second intervals, and so it teaches you to move faster, to think and focus more on what you're doing. In my first round robins, I ran out of time a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was too slow. And so you learn to speed up, you learn to focus, and really, as I've gotten better, it has become more of a mental game.
Now, yes. Let's be clear on how you got faster. Let's say there's just 5 shooters per string on this time. You'll have 50 seconds to shoot at 5 targets, okay? You got 5 different guns. But what you're talking about when you ran out of time, as time progressed and you've done more competitions, you've learned that if I understand mechanics, I understand the actions of guns, I have a familiarization now of guns, that when I put the first gun down, and as soon as I moved to the next one, I knew what kind of gun it is, what kind of action it is, what the placement of the gun is, and as soon as I pick it up, I'm already focused on the threat, right?
Right.
So it's incredible what that competition can do for you.
Well, it teaches you to think ahead.
Yes.
You're done with this task. You are already thinking ahead to the next task. You're thinking as your body is moving to the next gun.
Right. That's right.
And you're picking it up, putting it in. You're thinking about the target, and you're shooting the target. You're not really thinking about the gun because
let's refine that. She made a comment that is, you're thinking one step ahead of what you're doing because you've got it down to the point where I picked up the gun, I'm already shooting, but I'm so tuned and tracked on the target, I'm already starting to get ahead of myself and go to the next gun, and that's where you save the time, because people lose 2 to 3 seconds per gun because they're nonchalant or they don't know what to do.
Right.
They're fumbling with the gun.
Well, also, I think another thing that we are not mentioning here is the fact that you have 5 or 6 other people behind you watching you do this, and you learn to tune out everything around you except for what you are doing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And you are completely focused. I'm reading this book called Relentless right now, and it's written by a coach that I can't remember, is Tim Tim. You can look it up. Relentless. He talks about going into the dark side, and the dark side is not thinking about anything else but focusing completely on what you're doing at that moment, and everyone else disappears. And that's what you do when you learn that as you practice doing the round robin. After a time, you learn to focus all your energy and mind energy on what you're doing, and so you become extremely good at, and efficient in the time that you have when you're shooting the gun.
I have this comment from many women when they're in the range, just generally shooting for practice. When a shell goes off, they flinch and they jerk. And what you're saying is focusing on it. It gets to the point where you and I have talked in the range when gunfire is going on and we don't bat an eyelash. It's as though it just goes right through us because we've eliminated, we focus so well on what we're doing, we don't even think about it. And that's when you get to that point, and it doesn't take that long to do it. It really doesn't. And the people there at Aaron's, they're so friendly. They're so willing to help. They're so willing to share what they've got, to teach you whatever they can. And I'm not going to brag. I'll boast, but I'm not going to brag. I've taught a lot of them. And so the training is consistent. You're not getting this off-the-wall stuff from, oh, well, Joe Blow over here says this, but Tom so-and-so says that. No, they're all saying the same thing.
That's right.
And it's duplicatable.
Well, that, and they're not putting you down. As a woman, you go in there. There aren't that many women that go, and I'd like to see more women because I'm passionate about women learning their firearm and learning different firearms and which one fits them the best. But these folks are not intimidating, and they're very nice, and they're consistent. And that's, as a woman, you don't go in and be intimidated by these folks.
How could you get a wife involved, do you think? Because I'll tell you what a lot of problems are. I have co-ed classes, and I've had this multiple times where the married couple will come in and the wife sits there like a bump on a log because the husband has suppressed her in an honorable way, in the sense that he really wants to help her, but because you're married to her, it ain't gonna happen, man. It just not. I become the surrogate husband. They listen to me, and all you out there know what I'm talking about. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Your wife's not going to listen to you, but she's going to listen to me, and vice versa. It's just the way it works, okay? So what might be, do you think, Susan, a way to get the wife more involved? Any ideas?
I don't have a lot of...
Just suck it up, come on out and check it out?
Well, yeah, you need to be your own person. That's all I can say about that. You have to learn yourself these things. Nobody's going to teach them to you except for you. And so you have to decide that you want to be better at this and learn the safety and think of it more as a tool, not be afraid of it. It's just like a drill or anything that you use as, tools.
As a woman, what could you compare what you just said, practice, drill, tool, what could you compare that to outside of the gun world? So they could say, oh, that's what it's like? Would it be changing a tire? Would it be, It
would be like using a drill, or,
finding the right bit, knowing how to use a chuck key.
Yeah, going out and, or whatever.
It's a task.
It is.
That's all it is. But the nice thing about it is you can make that task an enjoyable task.
Well, and I enjoy, I really do enjoy shooting. It's really fun. It's a release of energy, and I like to be good at it. And
it's an extension of you. That lead projectile goes where you tell it to go. That's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty fun. It's very empowering. It's just, and it's fun. I enjoy the people that come to your shop too, and the camaraderie and
It's
and
funny.
I have learned a lot about guns when I go to the shop and just sit, because people will sit and talk about guns, and there's people that know so much about putting them together and how they work, and you just soak it all in when you're sitting there listening to the folks that go on Fridays.
I think at Aaron's gun shop, I think what I've noticed is that the conversation is conversation of practicality. I was talking about in my opinion piece how people make Christmas trees out of their rifles, putting all this crap on it. at the gun shop, we're talking about what does it take to hit the target? When do you hit the target? What reasons would you hit the target? How do you hit the target? What's the best way to hit the target? What happens if you have a malfunction trying to hit the target? It's common knowledge. It's not fluff. I hate fluff. Fluff will get you killed. So there's all these different factors. And, you know, a lot of people bring food sometimes. I've got food there. Some people bring food. It just depends what happens on the night. It's always a good night of camaraderie, friendship, shooting, and so forth.
And learning. I'm always learning something. And I always want to learn something.
If somebody comes in and they say, hey, I've done this, this, and this, I say, great, I'm going to shut up. Tell me what you got. I want to learn. Show me something new. Because my training, what I've trained to people is, I'm 54. I'll be 55 in February. I've been shooting guns since I was 4. Every bit of information I get from age 4 until now, I've compiled and made my own training ideologies. And my main purpose, my main ideology is duplication. It's cool if you can shoot a gun, you know, in the ghetto there, sideways. What do they call that, Trey?
Stupid?
Yeah, stupid. There's a name for I'm losing the name of it. But you do this stuff that, yeah, somebody's great at it, but can you do it? Can you teach somebody to do that? Everything I do is trainable, teachable, duplicatable. And that is the key to success. Because if you drop this one gun and you pick up another gun, because it's duplicatable, you can pick up the gun and use the same tactics and get the same results.
Let me add that Matt is also very good at taking you right where you are from the beginning. If you don't know anything about guns, and he can take you from there and make you an expert, because he knows people and he knows where you are. He accepts that, and he accepts you as as someone who wants to be there and learn, and he will teach you right from where you are from the beginning.
I actually had somebody say it's very intimidating because I am one for perfection. I'm like, because we're not baking a cake. If you bake a cake and you burn it, you just make another one. But in the gun world, we have to, because when you pull that gun out, it's a life or death situation.
Right.
So I'm there to say, do this, adjust your finger there, adjust your finger. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying that's awesome. Let's get it even better. Because I know when the stuff hits the fan, those 10 fingers, ladies and gentlemen, turn into about 3 because your adrenaline's pumping. You're getting an adrenaline dump. So if I can get you to shoot meticulously the same way every time in training, when you're freaking out in real life and the spread opens up, it's still a darn good shot. But if you're shooting like this, and for radio people listening, I've got my hands much wider in a circle, and then that's your training, and then it comes real life, it gets really big. You're going to miss your target. But if we're training like this, and then all of a sudden you freak out a little bit and it opens up a little bit wider, you still got a great 6-inch circle, self-defense shooting circle. That's great for stopping a threat. So that's why we do that, and we're always trying to push the envelope, you know?
That and safety. Safety's,
that's right.
Safety's always first. So, because it,
I push the envelope. I push the envelope. I always push the envelope.
There's
Safety's there. Safety's there. Here's the envelope. And here's the letter in the envelope. It's about to come out. I'm right at the edge, man, because sometimes you just got to have that edge.
I know. I just took your flame away there. I'm sorry.
It's all right. No problem. All right, Susan, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
My name is Susan Connolly.
For painting and your photos.
I'm an artist. You can get me at susansturlblog.com. That you can see all my paintings from now, from here on out, or whatever, from the back end, from whatever I've done on.
Well, I'm impressed because you came in here in less than 2 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, she came in here, we're doing a radio show, and she's standing on the far side of the room here, and in less than 2 hours, she had a full portrait of me, and I got it hanging up on my shop wall, and it's pretty darn cool.
I also do photography, real estate photography, 254-239-4737. Give me a call. And I do other kinds of photography, family photography, too.
That sounds interesting. We'll have to check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Master Cindy Key, owner of Central Texas Martial Arts, probably throwing me against the wall or something. I don't know what she's going to do this time, but I'm like cat food to her. She just plays with me. Okay, we'll see you on the other side.